All right, a couple things with this. Look at my elbows, look at my wrists, and look at my shoulders. Everything is in jeopardy of being injured. Hey man, Gary Walker here with liveanabolic.com, and welcome back for another video. All right, in this video, I'm gonna give you the 5 worst exercises for men over 40. This is why this video is so crucial and so important. Men over 40 tend to have a lot more lingering issues, all right, with shoulders and backs and hips and knees and elbows. All right, I've been working with older guys for a long time, and you'd be surprised at how many people I see at the gym still doing some of these exercises I'm about to go over with you. Some of these are very popular, but if you really want to keep your joints healthy, your shoulders, knees, all those things healthy, then make sure you watch this. And I'm also going to give you some alternatives. So some exercises you can do to target the same muscle, but even more efficiently, giving you better results. With that said, let's get started. All right, this first exercise is the behind the neck lat pull down. All right, a lot of guys think by going behind the neck, they're gonna target these traps or their upper back, and that's just not the case. All right, the main reason you don't wanna do it behind the back is the mobility issue as you get older tends to diminish. Typically, you don't have near as much mobility. Even if you're younger and you're doing this, younger when you have mobility, it's just setting up your shoulders for injury, all right? Because you're putting your shoulders in a vulnerable position and it's gonna really overtax those joints. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the behind the neck that you don't wanna do. You'll see guys coming all the way behind the neck, just like this, raising, all right? Couple things that can happen when you're doing this. Not only can you injure your shoulders, but you can also injure your neck. One of 2 reasons. Sometimes you're coming back and you come down really hard, you can hit your neck there. Also, being a part of gyms for the past 30 years, I've seen some of these cables snap. So the last thing you want is to be pulling down with 100 pounds and that cable snap and you really crush down on that neck, all right? So you definitely wanna make sure you stay away from those to keep your neck and your shoulders healthy. All right, the best alternative, I'm actually gonna give you a different bar, all right? If you only have this bar, it's okay to still bring it down to the top of your chest. However, for older guys, especially you'll notice if you've ever looked at any of my programs or gone through any of my programs, I like to do a lot of dual handle stuff. So basically what I like to do here, anytime I'm working back, if I can, I always want my palms facing each other. The reason I say if I can, your gym may only have this type of bar. However, if you have 2 handles or you have a V bar like you'll see here, all right, this is something similar. All right, the only reason I've got these is I can actually widen my grip and really get a good contraction on the way down. So what you want to do when you're doing this is retract those shoulder blades. You want to keep them retracted and you want to lead the weight with the elbows. Imagine someone having a string here as if you're a puppet and they're pulling down. All right, that's what you want to do. Retract and lead with the elbows. Nice, good stretch. Control it on the way up. Nice, good stretch. Control it on the way up. Just like this. This is a lot safer on your shoulders, not only because you're in front of your body, but also because you're using a neutral grip, which is going to give you some external rotation in the humerus, giving more clearance in the shoulder joint. All right, so that's the first exercise that you want to avoid, and this is what you want to use to get even better benefits, all right? So let's move on to exercise number 2. All right, now for exercise number 2, this one, I'm gonna show you a variation that I like. However, most people use a barbell when they do upright rows. All right, so barbell upright rows are horrible, not only for older men, but for all men, all right? Because here's the thing, here's how you do a barbell upright row. You'll see guys coming here, got the weight in front and going all the way up. Look at my wrists, look how high my elbows are, all right? Not only is this horrible for your shoulders, it's horrible for your elbows and your wrists. So this is the standard. When you see people going up, just like this, First, you don't need to go that high, all right? Not to target the muscle you're supposed to be targeting with this exercise. The goal with this is to work the lateral heads or the medial delts. That's what we're trying to grow and develop. Once you go beyond this point, if you're here and you go beyond this point, then you're getting your traps activated, you're putting your elbow in a vulnerable position, your shoulders in an unnatural position, and then when you bring it up to the top, then your wrist. So very harmful for all of your joints, all right? So basically, here's what I want you to use instead. Instead of that, let's go to dumbbells. All right, here's what I really want you to focus on. This is a similar movement, but the key when you're doing dumbbell work is you don't want to keep your palms facing your body. It's just like doing a barbell upright row, and you don't want to come all the way up to the top. So the goal with these is to lead with the elbow. You want to go out and up slightly. Instead of thinking of just coming up with the weight, you're going out and up. It's out. See that small movement? See how high that is? I still have my wrist stacked under my elbow and I'm not bringing it up. And then I'm also not coming so high that I'm pinching my rotator cuff, all right? That I'm pinching my shoulder ligament. So you want to make sure that you are being safe when you do this exercise. So let me show you a few of these reps. Very small range of motion, very small movement. Again, because we're not coming up, it's out, in, out, in. Nice little hold there, come in nice and slow. That's the other thing you want to focus on is controlling the descent. You don't want to raise it and then drop, raise it and then drop. You really want to focus on raising, controlling the way down, raising, controlling the way down. This little movement here is going to help target your medial delts, the sides of your shoulders, a lot more efficiently, give you great results without damaging your shoulders. All right, now let me show you exercise number 3. All right, so now we're going to show you something else that is just as bad for your shoulders. All right, that's one of the recurring themes you'll notice with these exercises. A lot of these are horrible for your shoulders, man, all right? Not only your shoulders, but elbows and wrists. This one is very popular. It's one I used to do a lot when I was a whole lot younger, all right? Again, I'm a lot older now, a lot wiser, worked with a ton of people, so I know what to do and what not to do. This exercise is bench dips. So on a bench dip, I want you to look at one thing. You'll see the hands, you want them right under your glutes. This is how a lot of men do these. And I'm gonna show you why it's so dangerous. All right, from here, you start lowering your body. Now look at my shoulders. Look how unnatural that is. You see that? That's all shoulder pain right there. Then you extend to the top. So yeah, this little extension works your triceps, but it's not worth the benefits if you're gonna injure your shoulders. This is horrible for your shoulders, not only your shoulders, but your elbows as well. All right, so that is a typical bench dip. What I recommend is you wanna reverse and do a close grip push-up on the bench. All right, so basically hands together. Let me show you the front view so you can see this. You'll notice my hands are really close. This is similar to a close grip tricep press. Once your hands are here, rotate those elbows in. You want the elbows to touch your body on the way down. Keep your torso rigid, keep your neck neutral, and then you're gonna bend at the elbows. Nice good bend here, and then push at the top. Nice good bend at the elbow, and then extend to get that really good tricep contraction. Nice and slow. This is a whole lot safer for your shoulders. You'll notice my shoulders are stacked under my elbows. My elbows and my wrists are in the proper alignment here. Then nice, extend. All right, so that is what you want to do to still work those triceps as opposed to getting your arms all the way back and making this a very potentially injurious exercise. All right, now let's go to the next exercise. All right, here's the next exercise. And this one, I'm gonna use a Smith machine. However, you'll see people doing this with barbells as well. All right, but it's gonna be behind the neck shoulder press. This is an old school exercise because it's really hard on your shoulders. And again, as you get older, you just naturally lack mobility from wear and tear, just get tightened up, especially if you're at the computer a lot. All right, you tend to stay more forward, and it makes this very difficult. But basically what I'm talking about here is you're getting your shoulders, you're coming back, and you're coming behind your neck like this, and then pressing. All right, a couple of things with this. Look at my elbows, look at my wrists, and look at my shoulders. Everything is in jeopardy of being injured. All right, so yeah, I feel a good stretch in my shoulders, but it actually hurts a little bit. I even feel this in my elbows. So the alternative to that is go to the front and upper chest, just at the chin or a little below. Again, one thing I do want to stress, we're all at different mobility levels. So even if you, okay, for the front, I like to come all the way down here right at my chin level. Press back up, nice and slow, down to my chin level, press back up. All right, but I do have guys that I work with that don't have that mobility. So even if you have to come to your nose and back up, then that's gonna give you great benefits. The other thing to focus on, not only am I just coming to the front of my body, but now my elbows are slightly in front. That's safer for your elbows and your shoulders from here as opposed to being back. All right, so that's the other thing. You don't want to bring your elbows all the way back and bring them behind your body if you're coming down. All right, let me scoot this back a little bit. I'll show you what you don't want to do. All right, you don't want your elbows to come back just to get down. You actually want them to be rotated in front of your body. Right here, elbows stacked right under the wrist, and then press up and over. Down nice and slow, press up and over, just like that. This is gonna give you a great shoulder exercise, a great shoulder pump, and it's a lot more safe for your shoulder joints and your elbows, because again, anytime you lack mobility and you force yourself to do something that's not very comfortable, and then you add resistance to it, that's when injuries happen, all right? And if you're an older man, if you get an injury once you're over 40, guess what? It's gonna take you forever to come back from that injury. And the worst thing is you don't usually come back 100%. It's never gonna come back better than it was before the injury, all right? So with that said, we're gonna give you one more exercise I want you to avoid. All right, the last exercise that you definitely wanna make sure you're not doing, all right, is an old school sit-up. All right, here's the thing with the sit-up. It doesn't necessarily target your abs very well. It's hard on your lower back, and your hip flexors are emphasized tremendously in the movement. All right, so let me show you the standard sit-up. You've seen it. You're sitting here, got your knees up. Definitely never do a straight leg sit-up. All right, I've seen people do straight leg. That's even worse for your lower back. Okay, let me do a sit-up. Let me show you a couple reps here. You'll see people do this. Use that momentum, all right? Momentum here, you're working your abs slightly, but you're also working your hip flexors. And on the way down, a lot of low back. That's a lot of low back, all right? So again, here, and even worse, if you're not using hands for momentum, is you've got your hands clasped behind your head and you're pulling your head forward, which is gonna be very harsh on your neck. So instead of doing an actual sit-up like that, here's a couple things. One, I would actually recommend you could do it on a bench, you could do it on the floor. This is more of an ab kick out. So the thing about the ab kick out, you can support your lower back. So you'll notice I'm leaning back, but I'm being supported here. Then I'm gonna lean back into it, get my knees up, kick your feet straight out, knees up to your chest. My knees are coming up and my chest is going forward. You notice that little crunch movement? All right, this is more of a rectus abdominis exercise, meaning we're gonna build more abs doing this as opposed to doing a standard sit-up. But since we have this back support here, it's also gonna be safer for our back. So let me show you a couple of these. Kick out, up, out, up, out, up. All right, so I would recommend this one to really target upper, mid, lower abs, you're still gonna get a little bit of hip flexor movement. That's just the case when you're doing a lot of different ab exercises, and I'm okay with that, all right? You definitely wanna have strong hip flexors, but at the end of the day, the exercise you choose should be targeting your abs more than the hip flexors, should be benefiting your abs more than it's hurting a low back, which is why I chose this exercise, all right? But those are the 5 exercises, the worst exercises you can do if you're a man over 40. So definitely don't do those exercises and use some of the alternatives that I shared with you. But man, that's all I got for this video. If you have any questions about anything at all, comment below. Also like this video, man. Give me a thumbs up. And with that said, that's all that I got. Get busy, get after it, and God bless.